So we are continuing from where we stopped earlier. Um, yeah, so I'm just going to go straight to, first of all, we create an entry for vehicle. So let's create a user actually. Let's create a user. All right. Um, let's create a user. Hold on, Gibson. Right. Create a user here. All right. Yeah. So probably our username, so our password rather, then consumed yeah through, then our name, applicable tech skills. All right. So we don't have a role. We don't have yeah. Okay, we have a role. So of course, it has to be authenticated, right? Um, and we don't have a user yet. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I won't touch this guy for now. Then, but then we can have our record. That's our first record there created. So you can see. So if you click on this guy back, you see this record here, right? Then creating a vehicle. You can say something like that. Vehicle Lamborghini. So then what's the model X300 or something, whatever it is. Then active. Then you have your content there. Then let's look for a cool Lamborghini out there. Yeah, so I'm just gonna pick this guy. Save the image for saving sake. So right, so we have this guy now. I can just drop this guy here. Wait, I can't just drop it there actually. I have to add here, so I can just drop it here. So upload, yeah, finish. You can see we have that there. Then save that guy. We are gone. We're good to go. So then here now we can now select Eldon Egyptian as the owner of this vehicle, and you can see published here. And that's what we have. So if you come to user, you realize that it has been linked to this guy automatically. Can you see that? So that's that. Then the next thing will now be to go to the media to go and see what we have. So you can see, say, to list all the media regardless of where it's coming from. But one thing that is sure is that this guy will have an ID. He's have an ID saved against his name on the database. But I'd love to show you what we have on the database. So I'll see if I can pull that off and show you what we have on the database. So these are the plugins available for us to use. Okay, we have the roles and permissions. We have yeah, then we have the user permissions too. We have the user permissions. We have user permissions. So we're going to see that shortly. So the marketplace is where you have where you can install all the plugins. You can see we have a lot of plugins. You can also add your own plugins too. That's if you know how to write plugins for Strapi, you can do that. So So we have that, so you can see, just check, go through everything, and understand what those each of these stuff represents, or what they do. All right, but there are prominent ones that we normally use, okay, that I'm going to show you, that has been used in different projects, and you know yeah, but this looks like something that makes sense. I'll have to explore it later though. So what I'm looking for here is so if you intend to add authentications and stuff, you can see it here. Okay, you can see it here. What I'm looking for is the user permissions, right? So ah, okay, sorry. So this video is not a premeditated one, so it's a live it's kind of making it live. So making it live, yeah, that's the English there, making it live, because it's not like I premeditated it or anything. So on the fly, yeah. So I'm looking for the user plugin, because we'll be using we'll be using that. So probably we didn't see it because it has been installed, but I'm wondering why. Because it's something we should see. Strapi. Let me see if you can see Strapi. He didn't add this though. He didn't add this. So no problem. So we'll be installing two plugins here. We'll be installing GraphQL. We'll be installing documentation. Documentation is the swagger that we are going to be seeing in a few seconds now. Documentation. So you can see it. So that's swagger that we'll be seeing here. So wow, we are copying commands now instead of installing it directly from here. But normally, what normally happens is that on version 4, sorry, on version 3, when you click, there's an install button. When you click it, it's installed. But right now, you have to go to the command line to do the installation. So I'm just going to stop this guy for now. Then just paste the command line. All right. So we have that. So while that is installing, we also go and look for this guy too as well. So install this guy as well when that is completely installed, so that we can have both on the fly. So this GraphQL Swagger, that's the API endpoint generation. It's give you great. Of course, you can use that to down build your web app, your mobile app, Flutter app, React Native, whatever language you're using to build your mobile app, Meteor, whatever it is that builds your mobile app for you, right? Kotlin, Android itself, Swift, whatever it is. But then that's what we have there, okay? That's what we have. So when it's done, all we just need to do is just go to the Swagger implementation and confirm that we can add vehicles, we can add what's it called now, users and things like etc. Okay, you're going to see when it's done. So Stay tuned. I'm going to pause this video, so when it's done we can continue from there. Yeah, so I have to terminate this installation. Why? Because it's trying to install 4.4.7, and remember that when we were trying to do the installation of the strap itself, we had to downgrade to 4.2.0, right, because of our node version. So right now Ian ad was trying to pick the latest version. So right now, so to now make sure that it picks the actual version, you just need to add the version in here. So doing that now should install what we are looking for exactly. So I'll just pause it again and allow it to just install that version we are looking for. So you can see the version is trying to install for us now, 4.2.0 instead of the other 4.4.7 now. Instead of waiting for that completely installed, so I just thought I should show you what the table looks like. You can see it's an SQL table. So we have the admin permission, the links and stuff. So the link is more just, it's just like the for relationship table, okay, that relates to both the relates both the user and the ID, right? Okay, so that's what you have there. Then we can see the vehicle Lambo X3 active, every other thing that we added there. But whatever this is, of course, this is SQLite's way of adding dates and things like that. That's why the date is in this format and stuff. So that's SQLite's way. So if you intend to change it to Postgres now, all these guys will be formatted properly. Yeah. So I think that's that. Then the user permission guys, this is what we have here. You can see it's different from the admin users. You can see different. So we have that there. What we have here, and that's that. So um we can get dbvar. That's not the software. dbvar, I don't know if, I think there's a version for Mac also. So just look for the version for Mac and we are good to go. All right, so that's that for, let's check if our, oh good, great. So that's added already. So we need to install something else. So we need to install GraphQL as well, so at 4.2.0. okay, so that's that. So let's just wait for that to completely install, then we can continue with what we're doing. All right, so that's that. So I'll pause the video for now, just to so that we don't waste our time. I don't know how fast this is gonna be. It's looking like it's gonna be fast, but I'll still pause the video regardless. Yeah, so it's done, right? As you can see here, yeah, it's done. So we have our open. So how do we check that it's done? We can go to, so we can go to our package.json here and just reload this guy, change this guy, go back here. Oh wait, hope it didn't, hope this is not where he's installing it. Are you kidding me? Whoa, no, no. Okay. You have to reinstall it, so you have to cd into this guy to install it inside here actually. Sorry about that, we're gonna do the installation again. So like I said, I told you it's live, so all these mistakes are bound to happen. So cd into the truck itself, then we now run those stuff. So I'm gonna run it both I'm gonna run both at the same time, so that we can have, yeah, yeah, something like that at the same time. So So I'll just pause the the recording just to allow that guide to complete. It's looking like it's almost completed though. I'll still pause it regardless. So we're done now. So if you can look at that, you see we have what we need. We have this guy, we have this guy as well. So let's spin up the server back again. So this case now we're not doing yarn develop, right? So that because that's our development server. So wait for it to load up. So while that is loading up, I think it's a good time to just go through what happened. So you can say Strapi build, Strapi start, Strapi. Whatever this does, well, I haven't have a reason to use that. But this guy and this guy is used in production, right? This guy is being used by Strapi itself. So I'm thinking this guy is being used by Strapi itself as well. So all you need to deal with is just these two guys. So development is it's it's very straightforward. So in the sense that when you modify a file, as you can see that when we created a what's it called now, a content type, it modified some files. So modifying the file would trigger the rebuild of Strapi itself. So that's it. So let's see where we are. So it's already building our admin again. So it's rebuilding it because of uh, the GraphQL and documentation we added here. Yeah, building those two. So that's it. So you can see. So I'm gonna pause this guy. So when it's done, we continue this conversation, right? So the admin has been built. So let's just wait for it to complete it. So I'll be pausing this guy again. So when it starts, I'll show you what happened. So right, so you can see what happened here. So it's tried again back. So let's now go back to our dashboard. Yeah, reload this guy. Uh, yep, yep. You can see server running well, and so I wanted to try something else. If you're still gonna see that, so you can see installed, right? This is what I was looking for. Installed. If you look for the documentation as well, installed. So any of the plugins that you have installed, it marks it as installed here, right? So let's now talk about the settings. Okay, let's talk about the settings. So we go to um, yeah. So that's that for the plugins that we need currently. Okay, I'm just going to just stop there for now for the plugins things. So here, as you can see on the overview, Strapi overview settings, we have API token. We have the overview itself, which just shows us this. So you can add your own logo to customize Strapi logo that we have here. right? I'm adding the Lamborghini logo, right? So I'm just saving this guy, and I expect that stuff to just display here, which is what you're looking at here. So so we have this, so you can generate an API token. You can create one. So I'll just be creating one for creating sake. Is it a read access only? Is it a full access? So you have to name that. So probably an admin token. So I'm just going to write that, say admin, then say full admin as well. So I'm saving that guy. It will only show that token to me once, right? Because I'm not going to see it again. Can you see that? So I'm just going to save it somewhere, right? So then that's that. Documentation as we have installed. So do we want to restrict the access to documentation and stuff? No, of course not. You're not restricting any access. Okay. So internationalization, all this one. So you can add more languages if you want. Okay. This Strapi for you. Add more languages if you want. Of course, the media, I think I showed you this before. So you just check the size and all this stuff. Just check all these things, and you are good. Then webhooks, so you can also have webhooks here, so you can add them. So create webhook. Yeah. So what's the URL? What's the name of the URL that you want to add? All the stuff. Then what's the heading? What a lot of other things that you may want to add here. So basically, but then the webhook might be one of your endpoints that you have added and things like that. So that's what these guys. But really, I don't really use it that well or that much. Okay. Yeah, so roles, so you have roles here. So this role stands for the admin user roles. I mentioned the admin. Now the admin is this Strapi admin that you're looking at. Okay, it is Strapi admin we are looking at. So that's that. And the users is this Strapi user that we are looking at. You can see this is the only guy here. So if we intend to add a user, you need to invite the new user here. You need to invite that user. So email configuration. So yeah, we want to send email from Strap itself and things like that. So then you need to configure your email settings. So you can see my provider here says send mail. You can add node mailer. You can add a lot of other providers there, right? So you can add send grid, send this, send any email provider that you want. You can add Trivac, you can add etc. But then if you are using some of these third parties or probably node mailer, you might need to write some custom codes to make it work well. All right. So for the users and permission, this is where I'm actually driving to. Okay, this is where I'm driving to. We have these roles. We have the authenticator. We have the public. All right. We have we can add a new role here. Says customer or says rider. Okay, rider. So we have rider. So all riders, right? So here now we can set the permissions, what the riders can do. Then it means the riders can create what vehicles, right? Then click on this. Can the rider delete a vehicle? Click on this. Can the rider find a vehicle? Then click on this. Can they find just one vehicle? Probably see a detail of a particular vehicle. Yes. Can they update the vehicle? Yes. Simple. And that's it. All right. And that's it. So you can do that to all these other guys too as well. But there are things that you don't have to touch. Things that you didn't create, please don't touch them. Especially content builder, email stuff, something that has to do with email. Okay, you can still click on the sending of emails as well. But then I won't advise that. Locals, don't touch this guy. Don't touch this guy as well. Then user permission. So can that guy create a user? Can an authenticated user register? Register. It doesn't make any sense, because why would an authenticated user register? You understand what I'm trying to say? So because I'm expecting that this permission or this role, this will automatically be authenticated. That's the meaning. That user will automatically be authenticated. So there's no need. So can this user find a role? If they can find a role, yes or no, you can check that. Can they create a user? So meaning that when they are logged in, can they create that same user and things like that? Can they find themselves? Of course, yes. Can they find one? Yes. Can you find every other user? That's if what you want is them to find other users, they can do that as well. Can they delete a user? No. I would advise you to always to do this. Don't mark all these guys. So I think that's what we have here. So but basically it depends on what you need. All right, depends on what you need really, not. So all I'm just showing you is what to do or how to do what, right? So yeah, so we now have a new role, which is riders. We have another role that says public. We have one that says authenticated. So and we already have a user that says authenticated here. So if I want to come here and change that my user, that the user we created in part one, to a rider's user. So you can see that I've changed that user to rider, and that's that. That's all, right? So going back to the settings and the roles, so you can add more users, more roles there, and doing that we can all as well modify their permissions, what they can do and what they cannot do, right? So providers, so these providers allows you for third-party integrations. So by third-party integrations, I mean, in fact, there is no I mean there. You can see what we can integrate all through, right? See what we can integrate here and things like that. So you can integrate LinkedIn, probably LinkedIn authentication and stuff like that. So you can integrate a lot of Google authentication too as well. You can do that. Yeah, you can enter your client ID, enter this, enter that, call back and stuff. So you can integrate that, and then the URL to the front web and things like that. So it just works. It just works when that has been integrated. Okay. So that's that, etc. So email templates. Yeah. Well, some of the projects I've done, we didn't use this email template. We have to customize a lot of things on Strapi itself. So that's why I won't be walking us through all these guys really that well. We customize a lot of things. So we didn't use this guy directly from here. So we have to create a custom URL, custom APIs and custom stuffs. So the advanced settings has everything that you see here. So what's the default user role? Would the default user be authenticated, public, or rider? Depending on what. So do you want one account per email, or you want multiple? So meaning that an email can be attached to multiple accounts. If that's what you want, you can do that. So in this way, you can create something we call multi-tenancy using this kind of system. A user having multiple emails, but then it means that you'll be having a lot of you're having a lot of you'll be having to do a lot of middleware kind of customization, so that you can get some information from the system before you authenticate the user from whatever the user is logging in as. So assuming you want to create a tenant system now, you just add, of course the person must have created multiple then multiple accounts with that email, then attached to probably a business or something that is unique. Then you then use that to create the DB before logging the person in and things like that, so that you can get the right information. And that will always be checked as well. Anytime the person make an authenticated API calls. So yeah, I think that's that. So that's that for that. So I don't know if you have any question, you can just drop it or reach out to me personally. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go back now to our documentation. So if you notice that immediately we added our documentation, we had this option here. So I'm just going to show you what we have here. We've generated the documentation. Look at the time that it was generated. So we can just come here and open the documentation, and we're going to see voila. We see our Swagger documentation. So the Swagger documentation comes with a lot of default things that we see here. Okay, so we have our user permission, which is where we are going to be creating a new user, right? Yep. So actually we have there is this endpoint for authentication, but you can see it's not here. That's because version 4, I don't know if version 4.4.7 has it, but this version 4.2.0 does not outrightly shows it. It's available, but it's not available on Swagger. All right, it's not available on Swagger. So but I'm going to show you what what it looks like. Yeah, so basically see, these are our user permission stuff. So we can see if you are trying to create a user, you can see that we can create the first name and last name, because that's what we added, and the other stuff are here too as well, right? That can be fetched or created. Then the vehicles that we added as well, you can see we already have. Immediately we created the content type. It generates all the crude points that we need for us. All right, so you don't need to start tracking your head for anything at all. It generates all these guys for us, and we are good to go. Okay, so yeah, so you can see, look at the structure of inputs and the structure that can be generated from what we have here already, like a lot. See it, like very complex, and you can go inside permissions, it shows you permission. Go inside roles, shows you roles. Go inside the vehicle, it shows you vehicles, and etc. Okay, but that's the API. So if you want to check out the GraphQL, again, just do I'll be duplicating this guy. Just write GraphQL Playground, GraphQL, GraphQL, right? So we have that as well. So it loads that out for us, and now we can check the GraphQL documentation as well. You can see how we can get the entities. We can see how we can get the user permissions. Let's see for the vehicle. So yeah, this is more like getting a single vehicle. This is more like getting a collection of vehicles, right? So a lot of it here, like multiple vehicles at once. So yeah, pretty much that's what we have here. That's what we see here. So probably in the next video, I will show you how to query these two new things that we've created. But before I do that, I wanted us to log in with the user I created from the dashboard already. So I can't remember the password I used, but I guess I will be using the same password I used here. As this guy here. All right, so 1 2 3 4 5 790 thereabout. So there I will be showing us the endpoints for signing up, for logging in, and doing all those other things that we're supposed to do. So logging in. So I'll be using GraphQL to log in instead of using Swagger, because like I said, the endpoint for 4.2.0, I haven't checked 4.4.7. 4.2.0 is what I'm using. So as at then, there's no clear endpoint for that, though you can customize it. You can use what they have before in version 3.6.5 thereabout, but then I can't dig that up right now. Like I said, this is live. It's not like I premeditated this tutorial or anything. I'm giving it to you live. So that's why we won't be checking that. So I've constructed the what's it called now, the login. We have login we need for GraphQL, so you can use GraphQL as well. Just do this from the front end, and you are good to go. So I'll be adding some other fields that we can have access to. I'll be adding role. So inside role we can have ID and the name of the role as well. Then we can have type of the role. That's if that's what we want. We can have the ID of the role itself if that's what we want.